again. Have you ever felt like your gift was too big for the room you're in, but too risky to take center stage? As I begin to start out our show, I'm going to start asking you some questions because, as you know, here at She Shift, we're all about starting the shift now. And sometimes we need a little support. We need some encouragement. We need some motivation and we need some inspiration. And so here at She Shift, I bring on empowering, inspiring women around the world that are doing their shift. And so I want you to know you're not alone. So without further ado, before I bring her on, I want you to read her bio. But before I do that, even I want you all to go grab your pen, your paper, your girlfriend and girlfriends, because nuggets are going to be dropped tonight. So let me give you who I'm bringing on. I am bringing on Kalandra, a multi award winning powerhouse in contemporary gospel with over 30 years of experience from singing and songwriting to musical director and actress. Her versatility knows no bounds. Her accolades includes the Dare Records Independent Vocalist Award, the SAGNA Stellar Gospel Music Awards membership. She's a true icon. She's unique. She's anointed sound blends. Oh my goodness. And I didn't even know this, but I was just talking to her about it. I didn't even know this. Jazz and contemporary elements, leaving the audience inspired. Don't miss her captivating performance and her compelling story. Without further ado, let me bring on my amazing guest, Kalandra. Hello, lady. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing well, Pamela. I'm doing wonderful, and I'm excited to be on She Shift. We're about to shift some stuff in the atmosphere today.
Yes, ma'am, we are. I'm so ready for it. So, are you ready? Let's go ahead and get going, started into this. I'm look.
Yes.
I didn't even know. I didn't read the entire bio, so I didn't even know the jazz. I didn't know that you had the jazz and gospel. So that was just right on point. But let me ask you this: for those who may not know you, how do you describe Kalandra in your own words?
Wow, that's a good question. Oh, wow. Well, I am at a point in my life now where I am authentic. And I say that because, when you look at me, I've learned how to just be who I am. It's going to be the red hair because that's
Yeah.
my boldness for who I am. I love, and I guess I just love the bling part of me because of my light. I love to shine a light on for people to see the God in me. Let me say that. But I have a heart for God's people. I love God with everything in me. I'm just a person that loves life and wants to live the best life that God wants me to live. But I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm a Georgia girl. Every now and then the country twang will come out of just a little bit, even though I'm in the city. But that Georgia accent will come out, and I've loved music from the beginning, and I just believe that God has blessed me with a language that can reach all nations, no matter what the color is. So I just want people to know the God that I know, and know that you can enjoy life and still live a life that's pleasing to Him. And it's not really hard to do. It's not
True.
hard to do. We make it hard, but it's not really hard to do.
I agree with you. I agree. We do, but let's be honest. That's us. He makes
Yeah,
it he makes it easy for us. But then let's be honest. Let me speak for myself. I am. We're still working on me. So sometimes I'd be like that. Have that resistance. I'm like, well, let me see if I can do it myself. And then he'd be like, okay, you go ahead. But I'll bring you right back. So I so agree with you there. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, you're right. We're works in progress. Every day is a work in progress. But
Definitely.
His grace is sufficient. So it means that if you wake up, you get a new day to get it right. If you
Yes, ma'am.
wake up, that's a new day of grace and mercy just to get right with him. So I love him for that. I really, really do.
Every day. I thank him every day. I thank him for allowing me to have one more day to work this out so that we can work this out together.
I
So,
know that's right. I know that's right.
so as we had taught, as those of you who may not know, there's many women that are listening to us right now that are still working that 9 to 5, but there's something in them that they want to leave, or they want to try to leave that cubicle, but they don't know how to do it. So we talked, and you had said that you had worked in corporate. Was it hard for you to
Yes.
make that shift from leaving corporate to becoming your own, to be working on your own?
I think for me, I had began to see things going on in the corporate, and I had become uncomfortable. And I
Mhm.
knew sometimes, you know how because the money is good and the
Yes.
benefits are good, that sometimes we just stay in a place where we know we should be shifting and
Yes.
moving. But I mean, like I said, I was making, you know, when you're making $70,000 a year and all these things, and you know, you don't have a lot of bills, you don't have um it wasn't hard for me because I had already made up my mind that I was going to leave the corporate world. Because I knew that I wasn't going to sacrifice my Sundays, and they wanted me to sacrifice Sundays.
Mhm.
They wanted me to be available 24/7, two cell phones, two laptops. Um,
Mhm.
and that just wasn't me. And then I was at an age and having headaches, you know, just because you're trying, because of the demand of it. Great job, great benefits. But do I really want to? I wasn't going to give up my Sundays because I love going to worship God. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to sacrifice that because sometimes people, once you start that, it takes you
Mhm.
away from what your true calling is. So, and I've seen it happen, but it
Yes.
wasn't hard for me. But I don't tell anybody to do it unless you know that you're
True.
ready to step out on faith and know that it's going to be a period. Because there was a time I was unemployed. You know, I didn't have the money coming in that I had coming in.
Mhm.
So you have to be okay with that. And you have to really have your faith at a level that you know if it was time for you to go, that God got you. You
Absolutely.
know, and I'm a big faith walker. Everybody that comes in my life know that girl, she just God show up for her every time, and he really does. So I walk by faith. I really do. I don't think of look, God said I'm moving.
Right.
I move with a little bit more caution now because I'm
Of
a
course,
little
of
bit
course.
older. But there was a time where I would just jump. You know, I would just jump. But I love the corporate world. Like I said, I had been working, had a wonderful job, moved up in that company, started in customer service. And by the time I left, I was a procurement manager, had worked with international people, all of these different things. But I love customer service too, because I love seeing
Mm.
people, you know, just feeling good, feeling happy, just serving people. But I didn't love going into work anymore. And I began to just see things shifting and, you know, not being treated right, and not, you know, the money was good, but sometimes it's like, is it that good that
Mm.
you were training somebody else to take over your position? So where was that going to leave you? And then my job, that position was being sent to be in Finland. So I knew I didn't want to move to Finland either. You know, you know, so there was a lot of things, but I had already made up in my mind. I told God I was going to give it 15 years. And for
Okay.
some reason, I don't know why that came, but I was going to give, and it, ironically, I had been there 15 years, didn't even realize it when I resigned.
Really? Oh my goodness. Oh, that is wild.
Yeah,
15
I
years.
had told God, and I had already been there 15 years. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I think back and be like, ooh, I miss
Right.
those benefits.
I
I
used
miss
to,
having that
it
good
comes,
paycheck coming in, you know, because that's just the human side of me.
Yes, it
But then
is.
I
Yeah.
love the things that I've been able to do and accomplish, and I'm doing what I love to do. And don't get me wrong, even though I'm doing the music more full time, I still work part time, but I'm still teaching and I'm still doing the thing that I love to do, but I was able to do it in the field that I love to do it in.
And that makes
So
a difference.
it's a big difference. It
Hmm.
it's a big difference. So, it being in the corporate world, you only get one life to live. And I wanted to make sure that when I leave this world, that I don't have any regrets of what I should have done.
So you actually, so you
You know,
didn't have, so can we, so it's safe to say, or maybe I should ask you, so how do you feel about the shift that you've made in your life?
I mean, it was ordained for me to do it because I did not know when I left I was going to become a caregiver for my family. So
Yes.
like I told you, I didn't know that I was going to lose my grandmother 2 months after leaving the job, and then
Wow.
have to come in and take care of my grandfather for almost 14 years, and him being just deceased. And then my mother passed away 4 years ago. My father passed away last year. So I did not know I was being set up to endure these things. And I don't think I would have been able to do what I needed to do for them being in the corporate world. So
Yeah.
with God being all knowing, not even realizing I was just walking in the destiny and I was walking in the purpose. I'm going to leave in 15 years. And when that shift happened, all the other personal things begin to transpire. But I thank God because I never was homeless. I never was without food. Of course, there's some things that happened because
Of
I wasn't
course.
having that
Of
same
course.
financial situation coming over, but I just learned how to budget. I just learned how to change some things. I just learned how to get rid of unnecessary things that I didn't need. And so became better fiscally with money, because that was the area I struggled in. That's just
Mm,
being transparent,
yes.
but now because I didn't have a good relationship with money. But
Yes, right.
now that's totally different. And people don't
Right.
realize when we don't have a good relationship with money, we're going to always struggle in areas,
True. Until you
you
get
know.
it. Because
So
he's giving,
I,
he, yeah, what
yeah,
I agree with you. There, that part, I just had a conversation with someone when I was telling them about, you have to, in order for your relationship, in order for your money to be moving the way God wants it to be moved, you have to have that relationship, good, bad, and ugly, and
mhm,
understand why that relationship, if you do have that bad relationship, face it head on, understand why,
yes,
and work on it. So I agree with you there. So let me
yes.
ask you this. What does walking in divine alignment mean to you, especially in a world that is often demands compromise? Uh-oh, I think she's, oh no, I think we are stuck. Oh, you
I'm
here?
here.
Okay.
I'm
You
here.
were you were stuck on my end. So let me ask you again the question.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
does
You were just going in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So let me ask you, what does walking in divine alignment mean to you, especially in the world that is all about compromise, is demanding compromise?
Walking in divine alignment. To me, it means not doing it the way you want to do it.
Ooh.
And making sure you're talking to God daily. There is no way to walk in divine alignment if I don't have a conversation with the person that's ordering my steps. Because the
Mm,
only way I'm going to know that I'm walking in divine alignment is that I'm asking God before I jump or before I do things, or before I connect to something, should I go this way? Should I do this? And the thing is that when you walk in divine alignment, it means you're separate. You're going to be separated from people and things, because most of the time, if we go back and look at our lives, I thank you, God, for this. We're going to realize we're connected to sometimes some sources and people that can't go with us where we're going when we're in divine alignment.
so true.
And so walking in divine alignment can be painful because that means I have to give up
Mm,
some things in order to stay in a line with God, because that person doesn't have the same core values that are needed, that I have to have in order to walk in alignment with God, because I will not compromise. You know, even though I love all music and will sing all music, I will not sing music that compromises my faith.
Gotcha.
That compromises my belief. But I love R&B, I love jazz, I love country, I love all of these things. But anything that's that align with my belief, or align with what I believe in, you can't compromise, because as soon as you compromise on the smallest thing, you leave room for other things to come in. So when you open the door, that's why I tell people, don't start opening the door, because then other doors, other windows just start being, oh, I did it for that and I was okay with that. No, but there's different levels to it. So walking in divine alignment, I found out that it sometimes can be where you got to walk by yourself in a season. You know, you and God in a season, and then ask God to. But when you walk in that divine alignment, He will bring the connections I have now are divine connections. Yes, and I know they're divine connections because even when trouble came, those divine connections stood the test of time on a good foundation, and we came through that, and now we're living in the manifestation of what God wanted us to have, because it was a divine connection.
Yes,
you know, it was a God thing. It was a God thing and not a good thing.
You're talking to me, because
there is a difference.
And it is, but you know what? I can tell you, because I started doing that. I started being with me first, because I felt that I needed all these people around me. And truthfully, I thought all these people had me. And then when I'm like, oh, they got me, I know that. And then surely enough, one by one, He showed me, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. And I promise you, I came to the office. I'm like, okay, now you did just remove 2. How many more? And that's a question if you ask Him, be prepared for the answer that you're going to get, because He removed everybody from me. He removed everybody. But I do know why He did it. I can't say this. He did show me long before He removed everybody. But I'm like, oh, He's not going to remove them. I know. And He even talked to me. He even told me some of the people weren't even meant for me. He literally told me that. He whispered that in my ear. He's like, they're not good for me. I'm like, yeah, they are. And he's just like, so.
But we, that's why I said sometimes we connect ourselves to people and things that we shouldn't even be connected to, because it feels good, because it's comfortable. But do you know that your greatest accomplishments come from when you're uncomfortable, when you're out of the box? Because I can sit all day and do what's comfortable for me, but when I'm pushed out of my comfort zone, that's when God really gets my best. When I actually have to come out of my comfort zone, and that means it may be studying something a little bit more, or tapping into another genre, or tapping into just doing something that I normally wouldn't do, and God will show me something else. But we most of the time cause our own misery. It really ain't the enemy. It really ain't Satan. We give him too much power. Most of the times we're going through our stuff because we chose to connect to people and situations that God ain't never told us to connect to.
Right. Or look, and you're right about that, and just ignored it. I mean, do you know how long ago he whispered at night, and when it's quiet, talking about, now, I done heard him tell me so many times this person. Like, no. Okay. And
but I love God.
Love him.
I love him because he's a free will. He said, okay, well, I tried. I tried. So let me let daughter go through this, because I actually tried not to allow her to go through this. But I'm not gonna make her, because maybe she'll learn more if she goes through it. But God speaks to us daily, but because of distractions, we don't hear him all of the time. I'm guilty of that too, because unless we get in a pattern of setting aside time to sit in his presence, we miss him. But God really talks to me a lot when I'm driving, because I guess you're just in a mode where if you're by yourself, there's no distractions and things. So a lot of times I'm sitting still in my car. I call it my mobile office. I'm sitting still in my car, and stuff, he just speaks to me. And that's what the ideas or the thoughts of the things say. Do this, call this person, because I'm trying to figure out what's the next step. Call this person, tap into this person, because any other time the TV or the cell phone or something, the computer, the laptop is distracting you, so you can't hear me right then. But when you're alone and you're riding in your car and you're focused, that's when I can speak to you. But yeah, walking in divine alignment is to me just means I can't do it my way. You know, my way seems that it's easy, but no, if I do it God's way, I'm never gonna fail. So I prefer to walk in divine alignment and just go through the birthing season of birthing pains, because when the birthing pains are over, you get a beautiful result.
Absolutely.
So let me just push through the birthing pains and get to the beautiful result of going through the birthing pains. And I love it. You know, it's not easy. True. You know, and he never lied and told me it was going to be easy, but he did tell me he was never going to leave me or forsake me. You know, I may leave him a couple of times, but he ain't gonna never leave me. You know, true. But and I don't put on a facade and tell people the journey has not been hard or it has not been challenging, but it's been worth it.
All 100%. 100. If anybody's like, really, I can attest with you. It's been 100% worth it, and I can speak on this journey like it is nothing but a piece of, like, he done made me cake and I get to eat it and eat it and eat it. And there is no repercussions for eating all that cake. It has been such a reward. So let me ask you this. Let's shift to the music, which I really love. If y'all haven't caught any of her music, you got to catch her. I told her you can find her on Apple Music, y'all. I already know. I got them saved in my music. But as I hear the jazz, do you have is there one person that influenced you in the jazz industry? And if so, who was that influencer?
Oh my goodness. Not one person. And it was so funny when I was younger. I used to love them that sky shall get, them that sky shall. God bless the child that has God is on. I used to love those type of things. That's God is on. Those type of people. God, her name just slipped ahead. But see, I used to love Mahalia Jackson. I used to love Billie Holiday. Those type, and Kim Burrell is one of my favorite artists as well, her vocal styles. And for jazz, you know, I have John Coltrane, you know, I have all of these different instrumentalists because I'm an instrument girl. I love instruments because and you can make your, you know, I hear different sounds and I hear different instruments and arrangements in my head. But you know, it's for Layla Hathaway. I love Layla Hathaway and Robert Glasper and people like that. So on that particular side of the genre. So I just, even from a young age, I've loved Billie Holiday, just her style and her class and her voice, singing the blues and jazz and, you know, all of it. So that's one of the main vocalists. I love Sarah Vaughan and you know, all of those different artists in that area. You know, I'm an old school person. You know, they be like, girl, you know, I love all of that style of music because it's timeless and because it's just truly authentic. You know, not a lot of instrumentation behind it, but just pure voices. So those type of singers are some that I really love. And like I said, if you see my CD collection, it goes from, you know, blues, jazz, it's, you know, every few country singers, you know, so I love all styles of music.
I guess because and let me say this, I love jazz, so I heard it. I was telling, I heard it as soon as we had kicked it off. Real quick, the accomplishments and the awards that you have done are just remarkable, and I want to give you your flowers for that. I want to know, from the Dare Records Independent Vocalist Awards to the SAGA membership, you've earned major accomplishment. What accomplishment has meant the most to you personally?
Oh, wow. Ooh. I think one, oh man, there's been so many, Jesus. Oh my goodness. I guess the most recent accomplishment, and it may not be in there, is the one that myself, because I have a podcast as well, with my business partner Daphne Hilton, and we have a music company as well. But we I think it was last year, we received, it was so unexpected, but we received recognition as like the voice because of our support for people, and it really shocked us. But it was really like a confirmation that we were walking in the alignment that God had for us, because if people really knew our journey of what we went through when we first started, they will understand. And for somebody to say, we thank you for your supporting of everybody, of others, and what you do in the industry and how you want to help people and your peers, that one really meant a lot because it was so unexpected, wasn't expecting it. And one that I got years ago, which was a Gospel Heritage Award from an organization, they tricked me. I didn't even know I was getting it, but they talked to my manager at the time, and I thought I was just there singing. I came and I sung at the event, but they actually honored me for my work in the gospel industry, and I wasn't. So those awards that you get when you weren't expecting it, because somebody looked at your life.
Yes.
And said that you are making a difference. And even the one I got from Chi magazine, because they literally have to look over your life and what you've done in the industry and say you're worthy of this award. And we see what the difference you're doing in your community. I think those three really blessed me, because nobody had to vote for it. Nobody had to, do this, but somebody literally looked at your path, looked at your life, and said, I want to honor you because of what you represent. And that really touches me. And all of them are great, and I love them all. But when somebody gives you an honor, and then I just got the Gospel Music Industry Honor Award from Gospel Choice Awards, when somebody looks at your life and say you poured into a certain area, and let me honor you for that. That speaks volumes, because at the end of the day, I just want to please God, and I want to be a blessing to people, because I believe he blesses us to be a blessing. Absolutely. And I really want everybody to win. People don't understand that. I really want everybody to win in the kingdom. And so that award really blessed me. Those awards really blessed me, because it wasn't a popularity thing. It wasn't this. It was, I've looked at your life, and I feel, based upon where God has me, that we should bless you because you are making a difference in the arena that you're in.
I love it. I love it. Well, let me ask you this. What advice would you give to the woman who's 45 and older, who's ready to build her next chapter, but she feels behind? What would you tell her?
Number one, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Your journey is yours. And age is nothing but a number. Because if God can do what he did to all of those that were in their old age in the Bible, and you're probably double younger than they are, don't worry about it. Just don't. Comparison kills dreams.
Yes, it does.
People don't understand that. If I compared myself to you, and based success upon what you're doing, I'll never accomplish what's for me, because I'm too much worried about what you're doing, trying to compare myself. So if you're 45 and older, and you've been wanting to do that, and I'm gonna tell you, do it in stages. A lot of people, everybody can't jump.
Right.
Because
That's
everybody's faith is not at that level. So guess what? If you really want to do it, say, okay, God, I know I need, right now I'm in this job and I want to do this, but let me be wise about it. Be strategic about it. Let me see what it is to just start here. And then start here and see how that progresses. And then if I say, okay, this is working, set yourself up for success.
Yes.
It's still going to take faith because, faith without works is dead. I can believe it all day, but until I move, nothing's going to happen. And faith is the only thing that's going to move God's hand on your behalf. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
Without faith, we can't even, it's impossible to please God.
That's right.
That's the word. So how can I expect God to move on my behalf when I don't even believe it? And I don't even believe it for myself because I ain't moving on it. I want God to move, but I don't want to do anything. Right. So my expectation is that I want God to do everything. And all I'm going to do is sit here in this same space, in this same corner and say, I believe I can. But even the choo-choo train, when he said, I think I can, he was moving. And he continued to move. And eventually he got to the destination, even saying, I think I can. I think I can. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I think I can, because he just dropped that in my head. Listen, you got to move and still speak life while you're moving, because eventually it's going to get easier and you're going to get to your destination while you're speaking over your own life. And stop waiting on other people to accomplish what God already told you to do.
The waiting on others. Yeah. It'll kill your dream in a second.
Yeah. But waiting doesn't mean you're not doing anything. While you're waiting on God, you're serving, you're preparing, you're strategic, you're still but I'm waiting on God. So when he say move, I'm ready for it. So because I've lined up my finances, I've lined up my resources, I've lined up my vision. He said, write the vision and make it plain. Write it down.
Absolutely. I do love that.
But I ain't gonna sit still and just think it's gonna drop out the sky. I'm gonna do something and work.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, there is a lot of people that think that I'm gonna just sit and think that they don't have to do the work. See, that's the problem I have. I see a lot of people thinking they don't have to do the work. We have to work. It is not here for you to be. It's not a given.
Yeah.
You got to do the work. You have to do the work, or you'll get what you put in. So you do have to do the work.
You got to do it. You got to put in the work.
You have to.
And that bothers me. People don't want to work, but they want the blessing.
Let me tell you. I just had a conversation, and I mean a couple of days ago. I'm like, let me tell you. Okay. And so God knew I was not, because the delivery I was getting ready to give was not the right one. So he sent a video for me to pass along to somebody, because at the beginning of the video, it says, if you are continually and constantly talking to the same person, saying for an hour, the same thing on the same thing, you broke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're broke. So let me ask you this. Finish this sentence. My shift happened when I
started being authentically me.
Ooh,
started accepting, starting being okay with who God made me. I'm different. My sound is different. My look is different. So when I came to terms with Calandra, you are who God wanted you to be for this time, this lifetime. And when I really became okay with that and stopped worrying about people telling me who I should be in the industry, what I should sound like, what I should look like, because they will tell you that. They will say you're not going to be successful because you don't look a certain way. That's a lie. That's a lie, because there is an audience for everybody. When we are, and people know when you're authentic and when you're not. So when I started just being okay with being who I am, I may never sing on a stellar stage, but that doesn't mean I'm not successful.
So true.
And when you start being okay with that, not saying that I don't want to, but if God says it's not your platform, I have to be okay with that, because if it's not that one, he's going to give me the one he wants me to have. So my shift happened when I became healed on the inside and was okay with who I was.
I love
because
it.
many years I was a functioning broken person.
Mm.
Functionally broken. And when you're functionally broken, that means you can smile, you can lead praise and worship, you can preach in the pulpit, you can do all of these things, but you're still broken on the inside. And when you're broken on the inside because you have not healed from grief, from trauma, from things you don't even know that you need healing from, you begin to make decisions and do things that are not what you should do. Because hurt people hurt people. People say that statement, but it's so true.
It's so true.
It's so true. And we don't mean to do it, but because we haven't dealt with our own issues and our own things, we're broken, but we smiling, we still functioning, just like there can be functioning alcoholics, functioning drug addicts. So there can be functionally broken people. That's all they're doing is filling the void with work, but they're broke.
Oh,
so
say it again. Say it
and
again.
they're not whole. So when I realized, and I went to therapy, I'm not ashamed of therapy. My mother passed. And understand, I've had success, but when my mother passed, it did something to me because I wasn't able to grieve. I didn't grieve when my grandmother passed because you're in work mode. I didn't grieve really when my mother passed. Then my father passed. Now my grandfather has passed. So in all of that, you got to realize that I love the Lord. He's my savior. He's my restorer. He's my redeemer. But God has put resources here on this earth that can help his children deal with real situations every day. So my shift happened when I understood, Calandra, you are not perfect, but you are, but authentically you walk in your authenticity, and God will bring the people to you that you need in your life.
That's right.
Stop trying to be what you're not. You're not perfect. Stop trying to be somebody walking around with a facade that you walk in perfection. No, you don't.
Right.
Because if you were perfect, you wouldn't need God. You wouldn't need Jesus. You wouldn't need all of these things. So when you authentically walk in who you are, bless God. That for me, that was my shift. That was my shift. And I said, oh, Calandra, somebody needs to hear you. Your voice is going to be for somebody. You may not sound like this person, but you sound like God wants you to sound.
Right.
You know, he gave it to you for a reason. Be okay with that. And you know what? Once I did that and I stopped caring about what everybody else thought,
it changed it's like the sky. It was like the sky. Listen, I done seen it. The sky is like a totally different. It's like the sky has opened up, and the ray is like. I'm like, wow. And look, and I'm always good for. Where was I at? Why wasn't I paying attention back then? But I knew it wasn't ready. It wasn't my time to be looking for it at that time. I'm gonna say that I did recognize that, but man,
and sometimes we don't know. Be honest about it. Sometimes it's our upbringing. Sometimes we've been brought up in a certain kind of way, and we really don't know that we not, really being authentic or walking into just being authentically us, because you've been brought up in the church, and so you have to stop caring really about what other people think.
Yep.
Of course you want to have a great name. You want to have a good name. The Bible tells us a good name is better than riches. But absolutely. I gotta stop worrying about what everybody else think and just worry about what God thinks of me. Is God pleased with me?
Right. But that's hard. Do you hear me?
It's hard.
When I seen it, I was just like, okay. And to know that I'm not going to beat myself up for it, because I knew it wasn't time for me to really get it until now. But let me tell you this, We have here messages coming from dropping
I,
everywhere from from everywhere. I promise you. We have look, they're over here on the side, but I'm going to also read. There's also some dropping here on Facebook to us as well. So I'm going to go
yeah,
ahead and read
yeah,
those to you. It says, "Yep, he will show you. Yes, he will." This is from Latasha. We also have, and that part is difficult in that season. It is always difficult.
yeah.
Kiera said that. Latasha came back. It's because we often want to give people the benefit of a doubt. Come on now. And she says, "Love it.
Yes.
Congratulations."
Yeah,
And she
it's blowing up over here too. I'm telling you, these people are on it over here. They just, I'm on my but I praise God for that. But yeah,
yes,
so ooh, my heart is just filled because I believe that whoever's watching this is that you right now are worried about what your family, what your
right,
friends, what everybody is saying. But when you really release that and stop worrying about it and just walk, because your true friends and your true people, they want you to be better. They
absolutely.
should want you to be better. If you got people around you tripping because you're evolving and you're growing, you need to reevaluate that connection and that situation that you got going on. Because if my friends that's connected with me don't want to see me grow and not be what I was 2 or 3 years ago, I need to see if that's a connection I need to stay connected with,
Right.
because we should not be who we were 5 years ago.
Or better yet, how about 3 years ago? Or better yet, 3 months ago?
How about yesterday?
Because
How
he
about
changes
yesterday?
and involves us every time. And and I understand this. I know we move and I know the shift is hard, but understand that the shift is necessary. Okay. And
It's necessary.
it's necessary. And that's why I want and I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I want people to understand. I know it's scary. I've been there, done that. I got a shirt,
Yeah.
got a out, I got a whole bunch. But in order to get to where I am now, and I can speak to women such as yourself so gracefully and not be the fear that the fear would have came to me years ago, it's all him. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
now. Everybody's like, it's all him. It's all him, and that's all
it
I can
is.
say. It
It
is.
is. It
So
is.
look, I'm gonna be mindful. Look, because you see, I could talk to you all day. I'm
I
one of them that.
know.
So I'm gonna do, if it's okay, before we wrap it up, I have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. I'm ready.
Okay, yay. So what was your first song you ever performed in public?
It's called Wrapped Up, Tied Up, Tangled Up in His Love.
Ooh, okay.
I was 3 years old.
3. Wow. What was who is
Yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite gospel artist of all time?
John P. Key.
Okay. What is your go-to scripture or affirmation before you're hitting the stage?
Ooh, let everything that hath breath praise the name of the Lord. Psalms 150.
Okay, come
I love
on.
that.
Come on,
Mhm.
come on. Your current song on repeat in your playlist.
Current song on repeat in my playlist.
Yes,
Oh my goodness. That's hard because I have a whole bunch of songs on
listen,
repeat.
I
But
understand.
that's hard. I can't. I got too
Okay,
many
okay,
songs on repeat.
okay, fair enough.
I can't answer.
So, what do you drink? Tea or coffee? What is tea or coffee while you're creating your music? Which one?
Tea.
Ooh,
I'm a tea drinker.
me too. What's your favorite kind of tea?
I love to do green tea
Ooh, okay, okay.
with
Dream.
honey in it. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Dream collaboration. Dream collaboration, living or legacy.
I wanna work with Kurt Franklin.
Ooh, oh my goodness. Powerhouse,
I want
powerhouse.
to do a song with Kurt Franklin. Mhm.
Okay. Where you're not singing, what fills your soul?
Oh my goodness. Pouring into kids.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Because I teach kids piano and music, but just sing but I'm not singing. That I didn't realize it, but that it does. I love to be around the kids.
Ooh, I love it. What book changed your life?
And I know people gonna be like this, but really though, the Bible did change my life. I'm just telling y'all, it did.
Okay.
Because a different version of it. It's called the New Century Version because
Yes.
it broke it down for me in a way that I really kind of got it. You know, so the New Century Version did kind of change my life in my view of how I read the scriptures.
Okay. Last one. One word to describe your purpose.
Oh my goodness. Servant.
Ooh, that's good. See that. So true. I just have two more questions for you. So my first one is, what is your what's next? What can we expect
My
from
what's Okay, well, what's next is a couple of things, a couple of collaborations, which I'm gonna hopefully come to place right now. You know, when they're in the mix, you can't really talk about it. But coming
Yes.
up next is that I will be my company is having a music retreat August 13th through the 16th in Sandestin, Florida, where we do this every other year to help. And we call it the bridge, where we bring health and restoration and mental. Where we work on the person, because we're in an industry that demands a lot. Whether you're an artist, producer, whatever it is, so we bring people to a certain location and small gathering where they can just enjoy and rejuvenate and get back into their creativity. So that's coming up August 13th through the 16th. And then from there, I will be in Birmingham, Alabama at the Gospel Sound Music Awards. We're up for an award there. And so we're grateful for that. So that's coming up next. And hopefully I'm going to be writing on my second book soon. To the second volume from the first one. And I'm not sure about music yet because I'm still pushing a couple of things. But at the end of the day, from August and then October we'll be at the Spin Awards, and then in November we'll be at the One Way Radio Awards, and then we're gonna sit down somewhere and be still. That's what we're gonna do.
I know that's right.
But that's really what we got coming up. Oh, and we're doing a workshop where we're teaching music. We do this with my company as well. Where we go in different churches and do music workshops. The power of music is what we call it, and we'll be doing that in September. So from August up until November, I will be in the trenches, just doing serving and working and doing award shows, and in the midst of that, trying to push my book that we have out, which we'll push, and then we'll be pushing the book in December. So God is really just blessing, and we just got some things on the fire, and hopefully it's a blessing to the people in the kingdom.
Absolutely. I love it. And then as we're getting ready, first of all, let me say this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was so much fun, as I knew it would be. We were in the back in the green room laughing and everything. So it was fun. So I thank much for even coming here and blessing all of us, but the listeners, but better yet, blessing me, because this made my heart feel. So now I can look, after we get off here, now I can go walk look in the heat. Well, it's a little hot here. A little hot here.
I have to do my workout in the morning time. I can't do that heat. Let me tell you. No, ma'am.
I am feeling full now, and I can definitely say I can go and do some walk. But I want to thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing. Yes. But as what I always do, and I'm going to leave it to you, what will be that last tip? What would be something that you'd like to leave the listeners with?
I want to encourage you to continue to trust God and walk in your authenticity, and don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. Because at the end of the day, you have a choice to live or die. And I'm talking about spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, you have a choice to determine. I say these affirmations is that my troubles You know, they're only here to make me grow. Every day I'm walking. Success is my nature. I'm walking in success every day. It's my nature. So I want to encourage you, whoever you are and whatever you're listening to, God has been speaking to you over and over again. And you've been listening to the other voice that tell you can't do it because you're too old. You can't do it because you're too unequipped. And it's a lie from the pit of hell. And whatever you want to do, if God has told you to do it, I dare you to get up, put in the plan, write the vision, make it work, and work your faith.
I know that's right. It's so true. Love your ministry and your work and music. This was a joy. I want to know, I'm going to put you in the green room. I will be back with you when we close out on our show. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, everyone, the shift was here. Did you feel it? Did you get nuggets? I have written down I feel that I am full. I feel that I'm complete. And now I feel that I can now shift into my what's next. And we even talked about it. Do it a little at a time. You don't have to do it all at once, but do it on his time, not everybody else's time. And then lastly, we also talked about where that if everybody's not meant for the journey, and he'll know when the journey is just who the journey is for. So I hope today was nothing like I felt. This was such a soul feeling for me. I hope it was as well for you. If you feeling that this show could move somebody that did not connect, share this. Let them know that we're here and that the She Shift is out here for them. I also want to leave you with this. Remember, you only have one life to live. She did say it as well. Live it to your fullest. No, it's for you and for nobody else. So if you're feeling that you're needing to, if you would like to connect to us, you can do it. Here's her email. Her website is down below. If you're wanting to connect on a talk, or if you want to talk to either or both of us, you can text me at 614-674-0074. Real quick, tonight's show is sponsored by At the Table. At the Table is a nonprofit organization located here in Columbus, Ohio. They're having an amazing fashion show in September. Come out. I'll be there. We can all sit at the table. We can even talk about our shifts that's going on right around us. So without that and any more, note that you guys are amazing. You rock. And I so appreciate you all for coming here and joining us. Until next time, take care, everybody.